Okay, let's be real for a second. We've all been there, right? We've all struggled with discipline. But what if I told you the problem isn't actually you? What if it's the approach you've been using? Today, we're going to build a system that actually works, a framework I like to call the architecture of automaticity. This quote right here, this is everything. This is our North Star for this whole conversation. Because real discipline isn't some big, flashy performance. It's the quiet, consistent stuff you do when there's no audience. So the question is, how do we get that kind of strength? Well, let's dive in. All right, before we can build anything new, we've got to clear away the old stuff that's not working. And the very first thing we need to get rid of is our total, and I mean toxic, reliance on motivation. You know that feeling, right? You watch some inspiring video on YouTube, you finish a great book, and bam, you get this massive rush of dopamine. You feel like you can literally conquer the world. But here's the catch. Motivation is just a feeling. And like every other feeling, it comes and it goes. Trying to build your goals on motivation is like trying to build a house on quicksand. It is just not going to work. And this brings us to that question we've all asked ourselves. You know, that gym membership you bought in January, the diet you started on Monday, that promise to finally learn Spanish. Why does that initial fire almost always fizzle out? It's simple, really. It's because we're waiting to feel like doing it. We're waiting for motivation to show up, and when it inevitably doesn't, the whole plan just falls apart. So, okay, if motivation isn't the key, what is? Most people would shout, discipline. But I'm going to argue that our whole idea of what discipline even is basically a myth. It's fundamentally flawed. Let's really break this down, because this right here is the absolute critical difference. Over on the left, you've got false discipline. This is what we think it is. It's all about gritting your teeth, using willpower, being driven by emotion, chasing that dopamine hit. And you know what? It's exhausting, and it's completely unreliable. But now, look at the right side, true discipline. Notice how different it is? It doesn't rely on willpower, it relies on planning. It's not emotional, it's unemotional. It's not looking for a high, it runs on autopilot. And that, my friends, is what makes it so dang consistent. And this leads us to the real solution. The way we build that quiet, consistent, show-up-no-matter-what force is by building what I call the architecture of automaticity. So what is automaticity? It's just a fancy word for making something so routine it becomes an automatic response. I mean, think about brushing your teeth. You don't stand in the bathroom and debate it, right? You don't check in to see if you feel motivated to brush your teeth. You just do it. It's automatic. Our goal is to get our most important goals to that exact same level. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Truly disciplined people aren't superhuman. I promise you, they don't have some secret reserve of willpower that you don't. They've just designed better systems. They've set up their lives so that the right choice is the easiest choice, the most automatic one. They're not trying harder. They've built a system where they don't have to. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually build this thing? How do we do it? Well, the foundation is a surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful tool, your if-then blueprint. Now, here's the technical term for it, an implementation intention. Don't get hung up on the jargon, though. All it really means is creating a super simple script for your brain. You're just deciding way ahead of time exactly what you're going to do when a specific situation comes up. You're preloading the decision so you don't have to make it when you're tired or distracted. Look how easy this is. Step 1. Just state what you want to do. I will go for a 20-minute run. Simple. Step 2. Define your trigger. Make it super specific. If I close my laptop for the day, perfect. Step 3, now you just connect them into a rule. If I close my laptop for the day, then I will immediately change into my running clothes. See that? There's no wiggle room, there's no debate, the decision has already been made for you. And what's cool is, when you start building these little if-then plans into your life, you're going to notice a huge fundamental shift in how you get things done. And this, right here, is the final piece of the puzzle. We always think discipline is about having the strength to make the right choice over and over again. But real, lasting discipline, it's about designing a life where you remove the choice entirely. With your if-then plan, you are no longer choosing whether or not to run. The moment you close your laptop, you just do it. You've removed the moment of weakness, the point of failure. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge, a question. Look at your day. Find just one spot where you always rely on fickle motivation to get something done. Now, what's the if-then plan you can create today to remove that single choice and make the right thing automatic?
Because that's it. That's where real discipline begins.